How to meditate when you live in a big city in a busy environment. When I started meditating again about 7 years ago, I was living in London and I was sharing an apartment with a couple. And my bedroom was the one with the wall shared with the living room. I was trying to do my meditation in the evening before going to bed, and that was the time at which my flatmates would be watching TV. And as London apartments have shitty walls, it basically felt like I was in the living room with them. So I would be sitting there trying to meditate and clear my head and trying to find some sort of peace and quiet, and all I could hear was a TV, exactly as if I was sitting in the room there with them, and I could hear them talk and laugh and chat exactly as if I was there. And that was normal. There was no other place for me to meditate, really. And outside, we're on a busy road, so I would hear a car pass all the time. And to start with, I sucked in that I couldn't meditate for more than 1 or 2 minutes at a time. I remember my target to start with was 5 minutes. It was sitting 5 minutes without moving, and that was it. Now, many people fail to meditate because they believe that they have to experience something special when they meditate. They believe that they have to experience some sort of peace, quiet, that they have to stop all their thoughts. But the reality is that meditation is the art of observation. It's the art of observation without judgment. Buenos días. And what I learned from my experience in London is that I wasn't doing great meditation from the perspective of results, in that I didn't have a clear head, I didn't have a clear mind, I didn't feel peace, it wasn't a pleasant experience. But I spent the whole time observing what was happening. I was observing the fact that my thoughts weren't clear. I was observing the fact that the noise from the TV was distracting me. I was observing that my knees were hurting every time that I tried to sit for more than a minute or two in the lotus position. The process of observing and noticing is what's important. When I moved to the US and I went for the first time to a Vipassana silent meditation retreat, I was blown away, because everyone I known who had gone to one of these Vipassana silent meditation retreats had told me about how hard and difficult it was, and it was the most difficult thing they'd ever done in their lives. But the truth is that when I arrived in the meditation room and I sat there and there was no noise, there was nobody talking around me, I couldn't hear cars as if I was sitting on the street, I couldn't hear sirens of ambulances and fire trucks like when I lived in New York in a small apartment with my ex-wife. For the first time, I was meditating and there was silence around me. And that made it so peaceful and so easy. And so the reason I live in Costa Rica today is because I finally experienced silence and peace, and I finally experienced what it's like to meditate in an environment like this. And when I arrived here and I would meditate and suddenly hear the noise of nature, I realized my ears had been shut for all my life. So, how to meditate in a big city, in a loud environment, is by noticing the lack of clarity, by noticing the noise around you, by noticing how the noise around you distracts you, and not to get judgmental about your experience of the meditation in that type of environment. So, the exercise that I'm inviting you to do is find the loudest, busiest place, the place that is the least likely to be a good meditation environment, and practice your meditation every day or every week in that place. I promise you that when you do that, the next time you meditate in a peaceful and quiet environment, it will be the easiest thing you've ever done. And this is why the harder way is the easier way.